Hey folks, welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Justin Riley and we have a fantastic show for you today. And we're starting out by talking about a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, filmmaking. So we're joined now by Nella Citino and Francisco Torres from the Film Wisconsin Boot Camp 7.0. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us. So Saturday, March 18th from 9 to 4 is the date and the time. Tell us what's happening at that date and time.
We are having a boot camp for people who are interested in learning about location scouting.
Okay.
Film Wisconsin is a nonprofit organization that manages the film industry in this beautiful state of ours. And one of the most requested positions that people call in for is location scouting. They're looking for production assistants, but they're also looking for location scouts. And we are planning to train people in understanding how to scout locations and what producers and directors are looking for.
Okay, very interesting. And so that's the main topic for the one that's happening on March 18th. Is it different every year? Do you have a different topic, or is that kind of
This is our 7th boot camp. The 6 previous boot camps we did was on production assistance.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we trained people to do, we're trying to build the infrastructure for the film industry, but
of course.
We trained the production assistants so they're ready to walk onto a film set and do their job. We trained about 180 people so far, and we have about 60 listed on our website. So that when people come to the website, filmwisconsin.net, they say, well, I need some production assistants. Oh, they're all right here. I will make a couple of phone calls.
Very cool, very cool. And what exactly is the overall mission then of the Film Wisconsin? I mean, this is the boot camp, but as an organization, Film Wisconsin, is it to just train new people like you were talking about? Is that kind of the primary?
Right now we are, right now we are trying to train as many people as possible in understanding the film industry. The other part of this is to get film incentives back into the state.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Get people filming here in the state of Wisconsin.
Yes, to offer opportunities for people to come in from Hollywood to, take advantage of our beautiful scenery.
Who can we expect to see at the boot camp this weekend?
Nick Langhoff is our featured speaker. He is a local production manager. He's been doing this for 10 years. He used to do it in New York. Now he's a producer-director in Wisconsin. He is constantly working, and he's very good at what he does.
Okay.
Our other person is Perry Perkins. He owns Light Force Wisconsin in Milwaukee, and he volunteered to help us out because this is so important to him.
Yes.
We also have Francisco.
Hey, Francisco.
Hi, how you doing?
And Andrew Lonsdale, who is a local assistant director.
So a lot of great people, actually. So I love Andrew, and Andrew had a chance to also work in New York on the Martin Scorsese and all those individuals. So we are, and he's from Wisconsin. So it's actually, so it's actually great to go ahead and have individuals like Andrew and Perry and Nick and myself just be able to talk about what we can do here in Wisconsin for production companies that are coming in.
Very cool, very cool. And what do you think is the biggest reason people should attend the event on March 18th?
Well, because we're awesome.
Close the show,
right,
we're done?
No, it's because just like we've done with all the other boot camps, it's just a really nice way for you to be able to know what is expected out of individuals that are coming in for the film and all this stuff, and the ability to be able to train those individuals. And especially for this one, where we have the ability to train people to be location scouts, location managers, and all these things. If you have a production company coming from somewhere else and they don't know anything about Wisconsin, they need to make sure to trust the one individual that go like, hey, I have the perfect location for you, and it's not going to be any problems for you. Right. And that's one of the big ones that I was always looking for. So,
we worked closely with the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce.
In Cambridge.
Yes. We worked closely with them, and they've identified a lot of local businesses that are willing to help us out. So people coming in, participants coming in, will go through a short training. Then we're sending them out. We're sending them out on location. And they're going to have to go through a checklist and figure out if this is a good location or if it's not so good.
Okay.
So that's part of the day.
Where, if people are interested, if people who are watching right now are interested, where do they go to sign up?
We have a listing on Eventbrite.
Okay.
If you type in on Eventbrite, Film Wisconsin, or boot camp, or Film Wisconsin boot camp, or location scouting, you'll find it.
Awesome. Nella Citino and Francisco Torres, thank you so much for joining us today. And don't go away, there's more Talk of the Town coming up after the break. Stick around.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. With me now, I have Jack Orton, and he is the director of the Wisconsin Business World program. You guys are one of our news partners. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
We appreciate it. And I'm really excited because we're talking about the Mini Business World program today. So something new for viewers if you don't know about the Wisconsin Business World program. Tell us a little bit about it, a little bit of background.
So the Mini Business World program is the most recent addition to the summer curriculum.
Sure.
That is, it's a year-long program that travels across the state to counties all over Wisconsin. We actually just held our first one in my hometown of Mauston, just north of the Dells. And what the idea of it is to encompass all of the schools in a county. So, for example, in Mauston, we held the Juneau County Mini Business World that had Mauston, Necedah, New Lisbon, Waniwak, Elroy, all the schools from the area came in and convened on, descended on Mauston Auditorium.
Awesome.
And we spent the day talking about just the very basics, laying kind of an introduction to Adam Smith, the author of The Wealth of Nations, the humble beginnings of the free market system, talking about how its early rise in Amsterdam way back in the Middle Ages kind of set the example for what the American economy is all about today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like an incredible event for young minds to be a part of.
Just introducing them to Wisconsin. You know, Wisconsin has this rich and treasured history of business and as an incubator for enterprise and entrepreneurship. And it seems that a lot of students today don't know that fact. And it's essential that they learn about the state's history and celebrate it.
Absolutely. And tell us a little bit as well about the Business World program as a whole.
Sure. So the Summer Business World program is our flagship program. We've been holding it since 1982. This will be 35 years. We hold it on the college campuses of St. Norbert College in De Pere and Edgewood College here in Madison. 4 days, 3 nights, students run a hypothetical company from dawn till dusk, kind of navigating their company along with 10 or 12 of their fellow classmates through a series of obstacles that real life businesses experience on a day-to-day basis. And so they kind of get an understanding of what it takes to run a business, what it takes to be an entrepreneur, you know, and within each company at the program, students are delegated different tasks. So there's a marketing team, there's a CEO, there's an accounting team, there's every base is covered. And so they just learn the basics of whether or not that's something they're interested in after they leave high school.
I say this every time, but what an incredible experience. I think as adults, we kind of think about, wow, if I would have had that opportunity, probably what a difference it would have made in the way that you may see the world or the paths you would have taken. So what a great opportunity for these kids. And I want to know more about the Mini Business World as well. So obviously this one recently in Mauston, these have already started. Walk me through a day's events and what it looks like and what happens at one of these Mini Business Worlds.
Sure. Well, the Mauston program, since it was held in my hometown, we kind of wanted to be the model from which all minis from there on were based off of. And so the morning begins with an introduction, like I said, to the free market system, humble beginnings in Amsterdam and in Britain, and people like John Locke and Adam Smith, who students kind of have an understanding of but don't really
know the name.
They know the name, but they don't really know what's going on. And then we at the Mauston program, and what we hope to do at the others, is we passed out local business gift cards. Students are asked to trade amongst themselves. And first it's, okay, you can trade with the person to your left or to your right, then it's in front of you or behind you, and then ultimately it's, okay, you can trade with anyone in the auditorium. The theory being that the more freedom you have to trade amongst yourself, the less restrictions that are put upon you, the more likely you are to be happy, because all of these different gift cards are from different businesses. So there's Bed Bath & Beyond, and there's Cabela's, and there's also AMC Theaters, and Amazon.com, all different companies all across the board that some students may be interested in, maybe not be. But the end of the day was filled with a business panel of local business owners from Mauston, from Juneau County, talking about what kind of career paths they've taken and what opportunities are available to little old Juneau County to students in the area.
Now, quick before we go here, we're almost out of time. When is the next Mini Business World and how can people sign up?
So the next Mini Business World is going to be at the end of the month here. It's, like I said, it's going to be countywide. Hopefully we'll hold it in Horicon.
Okay.
If students are interested, or if teachers or schools are interested in having a Mini Business World, give us a call, send us an email. I think the number should be on the bottom of the screen. We'll set it up. That's all it is. It's easy.
Wonderful. Again, this is Jack, and he's with Wisconsin Business World Program. Thank you so much for being
welcome.
with us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be back with more Talk of the Town right after this.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I know financial planning can be a little bit tricky and a little bit muddy at times, but luckily we have the expert here joining us today. We've got Brandon Mossbrook, who is a financial advisor for Midwest Financial Group, and we're going to pick your brain a little bit today about some finance questions. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
So glad to have you. So you're with Midwest Financial Group, and I want to know for folks out there, sometimes it's hard to know when to actually start the planning process when it comes to finances. So why is it so important, and when should people start?
Well, financial planning is like anything else. The more time that you put into it, the earlier you start, generally the better result you're going to have. So while many people think about financial planning 50, 55, 60 as they start getting ready for retirement, financial planning really should start at that first job, or if you're a parent with your children, you know, as they're going into college, to really lay a good foundation for what your retirement will be.
So no matter the age, so you're recommending obviously the younger the better when it comes to planning, but no matter the age, how does someone get started? What's a good first step?
Well, the first step would be to talk to someone like myself. Financial advisors and us at Midwest Financial Group, what we really try and do is sit down and lay out a roadmap. You know, think about going on vacation. If you were going to go somewhere on vacation, you have a destination, you would want to plan for where you're going to go, even if you're just getting in the car. So the same thing with retirement. While you may not be at the point of retirement, or may not at a point where you have a lot of assets to save, you want to lay down a plan so that when you make decisions, you can reflect back on your plan for those decisions.
Okay, and that makes logical sense, but you got to take the time, you got to stop, and you got to start planning, right? So that's the key to do that. But also, I think some people are intimidated because there's a lot of information out there, and it's hard to know, especially in terms of investments, what's risky, what's safe, how risky should I be, how safe should I be? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the most important thing with the words like risky and safe is that everything is equally risky and equally safe at the exact same time, depending on a person's situation. So a lot of times we'll see on TV, newspaper, radio, the internet, how much risk there is in something, or how scary something is because it's risky, or how safe another piece may be. What's really important is, again, driving back to that plan and understanding what's most appropriate and what's most comfortable for you in your situation, because what's most appropriate for this person isn't most appropriate for the next. And really having that customized financial plan that's going to guide your decisions will take a lot of the worry and the concern out of the individual investments.
Yeah, absolutely. I think your point that you've reiterated a couple times now is having a plan, right? You may make changes along the way, but you ultimately need to have a plan going forward for the long term.
Correct, yeah. If you don't have a plan, anything that you're doing will work because it's going to get you somewhere. Again, kind of back to going on vacation, if you get in the car and go driving, that road will take you somewhere. But once you have a destination in mind, that really determines which roads you're going to take and how you're going to get there. So the same thing with your financial future. You may not have a lot of assets, or they may all be at work, but sitting down, meeting with a financial professional, putting together a plan that's unique to you and your situation really gives you that guidance and that comfort level that the decisions that you are making are going to put you in a good position for the retirement that you want, not just the retirement that's available.
Absolutely. Good advice. And let's talk a little bit about the employer-employee relationship. How can an employer out there, if they're watching, help facilitate some of these processes for their employees?
Well, one of the things that I do at Midwest Financial Group is work with employers on employer-sponsored plans, so 401ks, 403bs, SEP and simple IRAs and plans like that. And what the employer is really doing, if they think about how they're putting this together, is they're putting in a financial wellness plan so that their employees have access not just to a saving vehicle, but really access to that advisor through the company that can help support those employees in their decision-making process, introduce them to the planning process, and really become a more well-rounded benefit rather than just this is a place to save for retirement.
Absolutely. And we got just a few seconds left, but is a financial wellness program going to also benefit the company?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest concerns that people have in their lives is their finances. So when a person's at work, if you're the employer, you don't want your employees distracted, worrying about their personal finances, worrying about their retirement. You want them to be able to feel comfortable and focus on their job. So by instituting a financial wellness program, by bringing a financial advisor into your company to really help support that benefit, you're now providing your employees with that comfort and that level of trust between you and them, that you're there to take care of them, and they can focus on their work and be a much more efficient producer for you.
I think that's absolutely spot on. Great advice. Thank you so much for sharing that. This is Brandon Mossbrook, who is a financial advisor for Midwest Financial Group.
Thanks a
for
lot,
being
Jessica.
here. So after the break, we are going to learn about National Drug Take Back Day. You don't want to miss that. We'll be here on Talk of the Town. Stick with us. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. As promised, we're going to share with you a little bit about National Drug Take Back Day. And we're going to do that with our news partner, the Medicine Shop Pharmacy of Monona. And you may recognize this gentleman. This is Eric Hewitt. How are you today?
I'm good.
Glad to have you. So I'm glad to share this with folks at home. First of all, I guess give us the overview. What is Drug Take Back Day?
Yeah, so the DEA and the FDA do not allow pharmacies normally to take back medications, to have them disposed of. They want to know kind of where that prescription's going, and they don't want it to end up, back in a pharmacy where they don't know, where it was dispensed, that kind of thing. So National Drug Take Back Day is a way for people to get rid of their unused, unwanted, maybe expired medications that they have sitting in their medicine cabinet, and have them disposed of safely and properly, both environmentally and then community opportunity for people to get to come and drop those off.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about the sort of, I guess, benefits to folks at home and the purpose of doing it, maybe on your end too.
Yeah, and I think it's twofold, for us in terms of the environmental impact that it has. If people are throwing away, they can end up in the landfill, which just is waste. They can also end up, if people dump them down the toilet, they can end up, trace amounts can end up in the water supply. The other aspect is, having it end up in the wrong hands. If you have it sitting in your house, maybe a family member, maybe a friend can, go to the bathroom, take those pills and divert them into, places that they're not supposed to be, kind of a thing. So for those things, it's really important to have those drug take-back days so they are disposed of properly.
Right. Those are some interesting thoughts. So one that I hadn't thought of before is how it may affect the environment and the water. So that's a really interesting component to consider when considering how you're disposing of them, because you might think flushing down the toilet, throw them in the garbage.
Right. They've actually done studies and shown that they actually can find trace amounts of these drugs in the water supply.
Wow.
Even though that water is treated, it goes through the treatment process, you can still find traces of that. So disposing them in this manner prevents that from happening.
Wow, really good to know. Another thing that you touched on is a little bit about the possibility for a family member or someone who's in your home to then take them. So let's expand on that a little bit and how National Drug Take Back Day really relates to prescription drug abuse.
And prescription drug abuse is by far the fastest growing, and I think it might even now be the largest version of drug abuse these days. And so having access to those medications, whether the person, the family member is taking them at the current time or not, just having them around in the home and having people get access to them is a huge, thing. And that can lead to trying to divert other prescriptions and even down the road using illicit street drugs, because the addiction started with prescription drug abuse. They can't get the prescriptions anymore, and so then they go to, things that are more like I said, illegal, illicit street drugs such as heroin and cocaine, that kind of stuff.
It's so interesting how such an innocent prescription that is a needed, for medical use then becomes something that is much more dangerous.
Definitely.
And a greater problem.
Yes.
Share with us why the Medicine Shop got involved with this before we go.
So a couple of things, we always wanted to be a part of our community. We want to do things that help out our community, not only on the social aspect of the prescription drug abuse, which we are greatly involved in with the City of Monona Police Department, but then also environmentally, we want to make sure that we're not contributing to any environmental issues in the City of Monona and Madison, but that we're helping out those things. So those are really important things for the Medicine Shop.
And if you want to participate, Drug Take Back Day is April 29th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Is that right?
Yep, right at the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, located at 4205 Monona Drive.
Okay, good to know. Well, thank you very much for sharing this with us. I think it's an important, well, just really a community service announcement for people out there.
Absolutely.
And you can obviously find Eric Hewitt at Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Monona for Drug Take Back Day and lots of other needs that you may have.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it, Eric.
Thanks for having us.
Medicine Shop is our news partner. We want to thank you for joining us. Thanks to all of our guests for joining us today. We thank you for watching. That's it for Talk of the Town. Please join us next time.